Hey guys, this video is going to be a follow-up to the string sizing for off-grid and grid tie video that I did. I made some phone calls to Midnight Solar to discuss the charge controllers that I brought up in the last video, you know, the 200 versus the 150. Basically what it came down to was I'm going to keep, you know, if I do this, you know, like I said, this is all dependent upon if the Fronius dies or if I just want to do it. I'm going to keep the 5 strings of 3. I'm going to run a classic 150 on it because it's a west-facing array, so it shouldn't hurt it. It'll be fine. This will be a classic 150, which is perfect for him, and I'll probably upgrade this to a classic 150 as well. So, during the conversations with Midnight, a subject came up, and that subject was NEC code from 2014, 690.12, rapid shutdown. What is that? Well, jurisdictions now are saying we want to be able to go up to your side of your house and push a button and your entire array is under 30 volts in 10 seconds or less. That's the essence of it. So once I heard this, you know, it turned into a much longer conversation with Midnight after I made a phone call to my local jurisdiction and asked them if they were if they had that in play now. They said no, but first next year they will. I asked him what his definition was, and he confirmed, yep, we want to be able to push a button and it's shut off within 10 seconds and it's at under 30 volts. Okay, now I know. So, that changed the design, of course. We added in some shut-off boxes, but and it's going to be a bird's house as well. But other than that, it's not that big of a deal, except for the price. This stuff is not cheap. This 4-pole box here is like $800. This 2-pole is like $700. You know, on top of the cost of a GVFX 3524, which is $1,800. The E-panel that's going to sit on is about $500 or $600, plus a bunch of other things that I just don't want to go into. But it's going to be a lot of money. It adds about $1,500 to $2,000 to the expense of it, roughly, give or take. But anyway, so here's how it's going to go. If I were to do this, and like I said in the previous video, this is all dependent upon if my Fronius grid tie inverter takes a dive on me, or if I just decide I want all this going through a couple outbacks. So here we go. 5 strings of 3 in series, going to be combined up into a combiner box. Your positives go to your breakers, negative go to your negative bus bar, bring a ground to it. Out of this combiner box here, via 1/2-inch conduit for number 6 wire, we're going to run into this 4-pole shut-off box. This combiner box will be mounted right about here. This disconnect box will be mounted right about here. Okay. The reason why is because these arrays are under 10 feet. If they're under 10 feet away, you're going to have one box do both. So that's why I'm going to mount them right there. That's close enough to hit both, and it's under the 10-foot rule. Out of this combiner box, we're going to have our 4 strings of 3, and the breakers and the bus bars, etc., and the ground coming to it are going to come over to here. 1/2-inch conduit again into this box. Now, I'll show you really quickly what this box actually looks like. This is a NEMA 4 box. You can mount them pretty much any way you want. And I'll show you the poles, or the switches. So what you're going to do is you're going to have your first string come into these two, your positive negative. Second string, positive negative. This is your output. So this is your output into one of your combined strings and your second combined string output for your inverters, etc. So that's that. Comes down here. These are all 1/2-inch. This will probably be 3/4-inch conduit, depending on what size of wire I use. Then you have the off-grid array here, which gets combined into this guy here. I already have a piece of number 4 coming down into conduit already, going to my E-panel. So what I'll have to do is just basically reroute him into this 2-pole shut-off box, and I'll show you what that looks like. It's just pretty much the same, except that it's just got 2 poles. So I'll zoom in on that for you. And there you go. Basically, one input coming in, one input coming out. That's it. Alright, come out of here. Now, this is where it gets interesting. I only want one piece of conduit coming down. Now let's just say I used number 4 wire. Remember, this guy already has number 4 here. Yeah, I like to oversize my wire. That's fine. So what if you add to it? What if I change up those panels and go with, say, 300? Say they come up with a 400 watt panel. It's 10 amps. You know, just saying. You know, that this way I got plenty of capacity. You don't want to have to rerun those lines if you don't have to. But let's just say I stick with number 4. If I remember right, I think I can get 6 number 4s in a piece of 1-inch conduit. The only question that I'm going to have for the code guys is, does that have to be EMT, or can I use the flexible stuff with metal? I'll get to that later. Now, this one string coming from the combiner box, this MMPV3 for the off-grid, already goes to my E-panel. It's already breakered and everything. Charge control is already breakered. That's fine. There are 3 breakers on this existing E-panel are slots that I can utilize. This is 38 amps. This is 30 amps. So that tells me this will be a 50 amp breaker for him, a 48 breaker, a 40 amp breaker for this guy. I'll put that in the existing E-panel, wire them up. There's the shutoffs for the solar. We're good to go. The other thing I got to worry about is when I do this, you know, buying the next inverter and the next E-panel, I got to incorporate through a junction box or somehow a way to bring the wiring into that other E-panel. But I'll figure that out later. But I just wanted to show you guys this. That's what the code is moving toward: rapid shutdown. A lot of places already have it in action. It's normally it's 3 years or a cycle behind, because it goes every 3 years NEC updates. Some of those people, some of those jurisdictions, they just went ahead and took off with it. I know there's a website somewhere that shows you who's on what. I don't recall what it is. I know my area is on 2011, or will be until next year. Then it goes to 2014. So, but other than that, guys, that's it. Just wanted to show you that. And as I said before, I'm not in a big hurry to do it. That is a lot of work. And as I said in the last video, to do it, this whole array's got to come apart. This array's got to come apart. I got to take the entire grid tie system apart, and I do mean all of it. And it's a lot of work. I suspect this will probably be for one guy at least a couple days. But anyway, that's where it's at. Hope this helps somebody. If I had to go back and do it over again, what would I do? I'd use Outback. I wouldn't even bother with grid tie, because once the power goes out, you have a brick on your roof that does you no good. So, but that's all for now, guys. Like I said, hope this helps. Got any questions? I'll answer as best I can. I'm no genius in this stuff. It's just research, and hey, don't be afraid to call Outback. Don't be afraid to call Midnight Solar. I mean, those guys know what they're talking about. They deal with this stuff day in, day out. At Midnight, there's a couple of them. I think it's Jim. He used to be an installer. He's awesome. That guy is awesome. He knows this stuff like the back of his hand, and being that he's a former installer, that helps out a lot. But anyway, that's it. Like I said, do your own research. Check it out if you're interested in this stuff. Other than that, you guys take care. Have a good one.